Welcome to the Honolulu Cheese Podcast, the pretty much number one NFC North podcast. I'm your host, Matt. Joining me as always, our co-hosts, Ryan and Moran. Boys, it's May. How we feeling?
Great.
You didn't do May any justice. You should have said, it's gonna be May.
But it's already May, so I couldn't do that. That's what I was thinking.
Moran's one of those. I can't believe it. My own blood.
Yeah, you think you know somebody.
Yeah,
It
for
is
real.
May, though.
Guy moves out, and all of a sudden he's making JT jokes.
Yeah, he's got a kid, and now he's a funny guy.
May we transition?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
That was
10
good.
out of 10.
I'll give him that. That was a good one.
10 out of 10. Touch them all.
Yeah.
All right, boys. We'll start with a little news and notes from around the league. Post-draft, not a ton of stuff going on, but we did have a big trade in the works, or I believe this has been finalized last I saw. The Pittsburgh Steelers are sending George Pickens and a 6th-round pick in 2027 to the Dallas Cowboys in exchange for a 3rd rounder next year and a 5th rounder in 2027. Pick swap in 27, basically George Pickens to the Cowboys for a 3rd rounder. What are our thoughts? Miro, let's start with you. What do you think, pal?
Low risk, high reward. And it's a good move. I don't understand what Dallas. I think Dallas just wants to re-sign everyone next year. So let's just get more expiring contracts and figure it out, I guess.
Dallas loves to just drag out and pay guys money that they would not have needed to pay them had they paid them sooner, more than anyone I've ever seen.
My thing is, too, you traded for Pickens today. I thought for sure within like an hour we were going to see, oh, Dallas agreed to a Pickens extension. Nope. We're just going to let him play it so he can go beat someone with his Timberlands, and then we won't be able to re-sign him.
Oddly specific crime you just gave, but all right.
I could see it. George Pickens, he's got some history. Ryan, what'd you think of the trade?
But is no one going to ask the obvious question? Is Jerry Jones just completely selling out so he can get one more before he dies?
I mean, he's got 3 years to live, so probably.
I mean, like one more NFC Championship berth even? Like, with all these contracts like you guys are saying, I mean, Dak, Micah Parsons, CD, Pickens is about to get paid if he plays remotely well because they're that desperate for a number 2. I love the move for Dallas, like in terms of just being a good football move. Like they need another receiver on that offense. Like it can't just be CD and nobody else.
I agree. I think it'll be kind of fun. Like, I think it could go spectacularly wrong at some point, which would be fun as, a non-Cowboys fan to see from the sidelines. But yeah, I'm with you. I think, like, if you're Dallas, you make this move, send in a 3rd rounder 100 times out of 100. Seems like a fairly low-risk play. And if you're Pittsburgh, you're Mike Tomlin. You've dealt with Antonio Brown. You've dealt with Le'Veon Bell. You've dealt with Ben Roethlisberger. Just a cast of characters. Even Mike Tomlin looked at DK Metcalf and George Pickens and was like, I can't fucking deal with both these guys. There's no way. I got to get rid of one of them.
Yeah, I can't blame him for that. And I mean, I can't blame Pittsburgh for getting rid of him. Like, you're right. There's just been too much drama in that wide receiver room, and it doesn't pay off enough to be that big of a headache to deal with. Like, it's not like the triple Bs back in the day where they were just tearing people up and Antonio Brown was getting 19,000 yards every season. Like, it's just not working out. So why deal with it?
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Miro, what do you think when the contract does come up? Does he slot in over or under where DK got paid with the Steelers deal? DK got like 30 per. Where do you think Pickens will slot in? Assuming Dallas doesn't wait till after this year to pay him, which they inevitably will.
I mean, if he has a Pickens year, I would say he'd be slightly under. But also if he comes out and has 1,200, Dallas shot themselves in the foot again. So
yeah, it would be the most Dallas thing ever for them to not pay him and then him to have 1,500 yards and like 14 scores and have to pay him 35 per and then him just to fly off the handle. I love that.
I do want to call out Pittsburgh though. Like, I understand why you did the deal, but wasn't there something called like an NFL draft 2 weeks ago? if you're going to trade him for picks, wouldn't you want to use that so you're not starting Calvin Austin at receiver? Or are we just
That's a good point.
going with the flow?
I don't even know who else do the Steelers have on their depth chart. Are they still rocking Ben Skoranek? They don't have Allen Robinson.
They got Ben Skoranek, Calvin.
Oh, I think
Calvin. Calvin. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Oh no, I was just saying they have Calvin Austin, Scotty Miller, Skoranek, Roman Wilson.
Ooh, shout out Roman Wilson. I did kind of like him last year for Dynasty and Fantasy. My Roman Wilson bags are going to be fucking getting heavier. Love that.
So they have no one, in short.
Correct.
Okay, great. I'm glad we got that all figured out.
They do have Aaron Rodgers signed. Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah, and this isn't going to help Aaron Rodgers go to Pittsburgh, by the way. You just took his best weapon away. Like,
you guys, what do you guys think? You think Rodgers ends up in Pittsburgh? At this point, it feels like Pittsburgh or he retires, right? What do you guys think? You think he ends up there? I feel like the Steelers are operating like he's going to.
No, I think.
Yeah, like where else?
I think if he's not signed within the next week or two, he's going to wait for a training camp injury and go to that team. I don't think he's retiring. I don't think there's any shot that he's retiring.
Yeah, no, I could see that for sure. You don't think he's retiring, you said?
I don't
all right. Well, good luck to George Pickens, Texas, no state income tax. Beautiful this time of the year, I'm sure. Maybe a little hot. I'll have to talk to my Texas buddy Lutz out there, see how it goes. In other news, the Ravens are releasing a longtime kicker, Justin Tucker, who the statement made it sound like this was a purely football move. You know, we've drafted a kicker, we're moving on, but I don't know. It definitely feels like maybe Justin Tucker rubbed some people the wrong way in the organization. What are we thinking, boys?
Was that a play on words right there?
Ooh, maybe.
That was very good. I don't know, man. I see what Baltimore's trying to do. Like, they're trying to do the corporate thing where they try to do right by their guy and not embarrass him and say it was just a football move. We're all seeing right through it. If it's a football move, you have a competition in training camp like everyone else, and then you choose the better kicker. And especially when that kicker is one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time, even though he's regressed in the last couple of years. Like, I appreciate Baltimore for doing that, but come on, like, let's be real.
He definitely did them at least partially a favor by being, I mean, last year, like, I guess he was like, I was going to say he was like borderline bad, but he was kind of just bad. You know, it's easy to, like anything else in the NFL, right? It's easy to overlook someone's transgressions or alleged transgressions when they're awesome. But once they lose a step, sorry, that ain't going to work.
What made them?
What do we think, Miro?
I was going to say, what made them wait an extra 2 months? Like, we knew he was getting oiled up, and just the timing of things. Like, you had to wait to see if you can draft a kicker in the 6th round. Was that the excuse? Like, I hate how the NFL operates, bro. I really do. It's all for show. Is it like Women's Month in May or something? Is this what's going on? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, the timing was definitely suspicious. I don't know if they just decided, or I don't know if, like, you know, they started looking into it more and, you know, they uncovered more stuff.
Was it one tug too many or something, or what? Like,
certainly didn't sound like it was a happy ending for Justin Tucker in Pittsburgh.
Is it wrong to joke about this?
No, because it's all alleged. Allegedly.
It is all alleged. But at the same time, if they're letting him go,
no, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean.
I know, and I want to be fair to Justin Tucker too, because being accused of something doesn't automatically make it true. But it's just not a good look, man. I don't know.
Who's the Chiefs punter?
Harrison Butker.
No, punter.
Yeah, Matt
Asiata.
Yeah, Riza.
That guy coming out of the draft was like predicted to be one of the best punters ever, if that means anything, I guess. And off an allegation, he didn't get picked up by a team. So yeah. I don't like the whole if he got let go, he did something thing. Like,
no, I didn't want to make it seem that way. I don't think that is the case. I just don't think it looks good for Justin Tucker, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
I think the biggest difference in those two scenarios is Matt Ariza faced a charge, like a one-time thing, something that may or may not have happened, whereas Justin Tucker is either a real scumbag or the victim of quite a smear campaign because there's like 15 or 20 masseuses with that same experience.
That's true.
Similar to the Watson thing, right? Like, if one person says you did something, then like, who knows? And don't victim shame, and it is what it is. But like the weight of multiple accusations certainly feels like there might be something there that is unjust. And
good one.
Matt, when you have to like lift up your eyebrows and stuff and signal that it was a good one, it wasn't that great.
Yeah, he wasn't letting that one go unnoticed. Good job, Matt.
He needed it.
I'd have throw the people's eyebrow up there like Dwayne.
Yeah. Hey, just in case he got it under there.
That's true. That's true.
Wait, let me do the math. Just in case.
What do you guys think? Justin Tucker kicks in 2025 or no?
Yes. These things it'll take forever to play out.
I think it's going to be similar to Brandon McManus. It's going to take a year or two, and then he'll be the first one signed once he's cleared. I do want to say something, and I hope it's not taken the wrong way. These, like, accusations of players, I understand how they happen, and I understand, obviously, this is a very, important discussion to have, but I wish some people would just not take the money and actually let this stuff play out in court, because I think it might teach a few guys to not, and excuse my language, fuck around, because a lot of these guys will be like, oh yeah, I'm good, I'll just do it. What's $2 million of a settlement going to do for me? Like, I just wish sometimes it would play out in court and might make people rethink things.
You never know. Sketchy, creepy dudes might just be sketchy, creepy dudes.
Might not
allegedly.
Yeah.
But who knows? On this podcast, innocent until proven guilty, but probably guilty. Miro, you had an interesting question you wanted to bring up for the group. You saw, I believe, on X.com, the Everything app. What was your proposal?
So nothing's ever incorrect on X, by the way. So whatever we talk about, it's 100% true, and it's going to happen. Just want to put that out there. But
that's facts.
I like that.
I did see. Yeah, you would. I did see an AI hypothetical for the next 10 Super Bowl winners. AI predicted, and I'm going to try to keep a straight face when I say this, but that the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yes.
So my question,
let's go.
Hang the friggin' banner.
Hang that
so
banner,
my question
baby.
is, if you know how the next 10 years are going to play out, would you take that one Super Bowl with the notion that the next 9 you're not going to win anything, and obviously every game you watch there's going to be excitement lacking because you already know the results? And Ryan, you can start because Lions and Super Bowl won't be mentioned for a while ever again.
Of course, I will start. And for anyone who's listening who thinks AI is dangerous, yeah, you can kick rocks. AI rules, and that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, until they take away your beloved Hollywood.
Oh, well, that's already happened, whether we
Just
like it or
letting
not.
you know.
Hey, AI is completely correct. The only mistake that AI made in this whole thing was not predicting that we win the first 3 in the next 3 years. It's it's not an outlandish. We won 15 games last year. Hobbled. Like it's a totally realistic thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave. There's a basketball game starting at 9:30.
All right. Deuces.
I think that the most interesting way to propose this question is if somebody came to you with magic beans and they said, I will guarantee you that your team wins 1 Super Bowl in the next 10 years. You don't know when, but you're going to win 1. You are absolutely not going to win 2. Would you sign up for that?
Okay. I have so many thoughts on this, and I know there are Lions fans out there right now. Like maybe a good 68% of them who would say, hell no. We're so good. We're capable of more than 1 Super Bowl. And those people are out of their fucking minds.
That has nothing to do with it.
Bro, up until age 30, I would have given my left nut for a playoff win. The fact that we're sitting here debating whether 1 Super Bowl is enough or not is asinine. yeah, I'll take one and be miserable for the next decade if it means winning one.
Matt, go ahead. I got a lot to say, so I'll let you go first.
I'll be short. I couldn't agree more with Ryan. If you came to me and you were like, we guarantee one in the next 10 years, but you don't win anymore, sign me up 100 times out of 100. I'm in. I think there's maybe 3 fan bases in football. Really, probably 2, really 1 that like shouldn't smash that deal. Like if you're a Chiefs fan, you want to say no, sure. You've already got 3 in the bank. You want to roll the dice on some more, I'm in. The Eagles, maybe, but like anyone else, smashing that.
Realistically, and before Moran chips in, like who the hell are we as Lions and Bears fans not to shit on our own franchises, but who the hell are we to say no to a Super Bowl? Like I don't understand this.
That's what I was going to ask. So Matt, when was the Bears' last Super Bowl?
1985, great year.
Okay.
Gave us a Bears Super Bowl and Matt Young.
And
how could it be good? How could it be better?
I was going to say, you were born when they won it, or you were born after? Remind me.
I was born. I was like 6 months old when they played the Super Bowl.
It was all downhill from
So literally, Matt Young is the reason. Ryan, when's the last time you guys won the Super Bowl?
That would be never.
Okay. So this is why this answer from you guys is so pathetic and pitiful.
Oh my God.
And a shame. Like, you guys, like, I love you guys, but you guys are embarrassing. Literally embarrassing.
Shut your mouth, bro.
Oh, yeah, I take a Super Bowl. I'm going to shit on, who won it with the Bears in 84? Name me a couple players.
Oh, Jim McMahon, Walter Payton, Willie Galt,
like
Wilbur Marshall,
and,
Mike Singletary.
And you guys just want to shit on them because you guys want the magic NFL genie. Here, guys, here's a Super Bowl. You guys sound some like... Oh, man.
The word you're looking for is losers.
No, I was going to...
We are losers.
I was going to say...
And yes, we are losers.
No,
that's why we will take it.
This just shows the fucking spoiled nature of Packers fans. This is what we can't stand.
Oh, my God.
Ooh, we drafted 3 franchise quarterbacks, potentially, back to back to back, and, like, you're just looking down on other teams for being miserable for their whole lives. We didn't have a playoff win since 1991 before last year. So I don't want to hear...
Would you like me to give you the key to the city for that? Like, of course I'm going to make you guys feel miserable.
That's my point, though, is like we are just now feeling a taste of victory.
Cool.
And it took forever. So I know I'm not saying no to the ultimate goal, which is always a championship. Even if it means sucking for the next 10 years, I'm used to that. I can do that again. I'll take a ring with it.
It's not the sucking for the next 10 years that's bothering me. It's the cop-out. Like, if you guys win it because you won it, that feeling is going to be euphoric. And instead, you just want this magic NFL genie to give you a Super Bowl. And then, Matt Young, you're better than that,
so
bro.
That's
you have a Super Bowl as a Bears fan.
Go ahead, Matt.
So that's just a little unfair because that's really not the nature of the question. The nature of the question is more, if you were guaranteed one, is that enough to like fill your goblet for 10 years? Like, because this is a hypothetical, right? Nobody's coming to you with that situation, but it's more about like, do you really trust your franchise enough that you would gamble the unknown of whether or not they could win? I know the Bears are a fucking joke. I would not fucking gamble that. There's no way.
I will give you my answer.
Of that statement.
And you guys are going to think I'm blowing smoke. I'd rather go 0-17 than be given a Super Bowl or saying we're going to win a Super Bowl. I'm good. I have morals.
I know you wouldn't. And the shitty part is that one of us here can actually say they have experience in going winless. You wouldn't. Don't ever say that again.
Don't do that. I'm being honest.
Okay, well,
I enjoy the grind.
Ignorance is bliss.
No, it's not. I enjoy the grind.
Let us know though in the comments, and just if what would you do? You know, the genie comes to you with the magic beads. Let us know what team you root for, and if you would take that deal. I think, like if you're like I said, if you're a Chiefs fan, sure, maybe the Eagles are loaded, but like, yo, life comes at you fast in the NFL. Like, the Patriots ripped off a bunch of Super Bowls, and Phillip Rivers won none, and he's like a Hall
Yeah.
of Fame quarterback. And Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, they got no Super Bowls. Like, granted, they're young, but still.
So that's a really interesting way to look at it, right? Because you have teams in the past where it was one year and they had like this amazing future and they thought, okay, the next decade we're in this. And then they just never won shit. And now if you go back and ask that question 10 years prior, they're like, yes, please give me a Super Bowl. I don't care.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
It
hard to
depends.
think of a good example, but if you went to like a Saints fan in 2015 with prime Drew Brees, or maybe the Saints won in 09, so maybe they're not a good example, but regardless, like, you know,
Dude, you can use the Chargers. The Chargers had Phillip Rivers.
There
They
you
had
go.
LT.
There
they
you
had
go.
they had all these like exciting weapons day after day or year after year, and it just never happened.
Not even that. When we won it in 2010, we were on the Sports Illustrated cover with all our offensive weapons, and we haven't been back. You can ask me. I'm giving you the answer. I don't want it.
That's fair.
I
think
do
you're
love your
insane.
guys' passion for sucking, though. That's fair.
It's not really a passion for sucking. It's more just like a warm bath that we've become so accustomed to. It's just, it feels
it's called
right.
self-loathing. Yeah, get used to it.
And
it feels right.
I do have some breaking news, non-football related. The Knicks just erased another 20-point deficit, and they're up 2.
Touched on the hockey game because that was so close. We're going to have to go back to the multi-view by YouTube TV. Not a sponsor, but YouTube TV. Hit us up if you want to advertise with us. We'd love to have you anytime.
Yeah. Fuck Jalen Brunson. That's all I'm going to say.
Ryan, did you have a follow-up to that?
No. You stole my follow-up with that scenario you gave, so we can move on.
I love
it was a really good question.
Do you guys think I'm like bullshitting to sound tough? Because I'm not. I just want to make sure.
I don't think you're bullshitting. I just think you're an idiot.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine. That's fine.
I completely believe that. That's how you feel. I just think you're crazy.
Hey,
my voice is going up, and my voice volume is going up.
Steve Jobs was called insane too, and
even he would have taken the one Super Bowl.
Did he just compare himself to Steve Jobs?
I kind of respect.
Hey, listen, when we're still doing this podcast in 10 years and we're on ESPN 9 or whatever it is, we can come back to this discussion and have a great time.
The Nueve. We'll be big by then.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so that brings me into our next topic here, which is related to the first one. I wanted to know, I heard this talked about, maybe Robert Mays and Derek Klassen were talking about it on the Athletic Football Show. And I thought it was just an interesting hypothetical. If you had to bet on one team not to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 seasons, you had to bet everything you had. They came to you and they're like, your house, your car, your family, your savings, your 401k, you got to place it all on one team not to win the Super Bowl before 2030. Ryan, who's that bet going on?
For me, and I battled with this a little bit. There's one other team I could have given, but the team I'm going with is the New Orleans Saints. I can't see a world where this team figures it out in the next 5 years to the point where they actually are competitive enough to win a Super Bowl. They don't have a quarterback. They are in salary cap hell. Their best offensive weapon in Chris Olave cannot stay healthy. Their second best offensive weapon in Alvin Kamara has been around for like 20 years at this point, and he's not getting any younger, even though he's still pretty effective. They don't have a good defense. I don't know what their coach is going to be. Like, I just don't see it. Like, I can't. The only thing that's going for the Saints is that they're in a weak division. So shout out to Brendan. I'm sorry. I know you're a Saints fan, but it ain't happening.
Moran, what do you think about the Saints as the pick?
So I get it. But mine is still the Lions, and it's because they haven't won one.
Hang on. Is that your real answer, or are you just fucking around?
No, that's my real answer.
Did you not listen to the last segment? They already won one next year. You already lost the bet.
Robots have told us it's gonna happen.
Can we spice up this? Can we spice up this question and just say what 5 teams do you think? Because I had a whole list of 5, but I didn't pay attention to the question. I apologize. You guys got
me. The Lions are the one you chose.
No, I got 5, but I wanted to say the Lions to grind your gears because you're a loser. So
the reason why the Saints actually for me didn't make the top of my list is like I feel like the Saints might be bad enough over the next 2 years. Like they might just play Tyler Shuck this year or Spencer Rattler and end up with the 1 pick. And like if Arch Manning is Peyton Manning, again, hypothetical. Haven't seen a lot of Arch Manning, but like, and they draft him, they're probably in like a decent spot come 2 years from now. So like the Saints are actually so far toward the edge of the cliff that I actually think they could like be on the come up within the next few years, which is why I didn't kind of consider
bottom out quickly and a quick bounce back based on how far they went down.
Just because like right, the best way to have success in the NFL is to have a good quarterback. If you bottom out and get the number 1 pick, like maybe you end up with Joe Burrow. Obviously not like, if Arch Manning is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow wasn't Joe Burrow when he was a senior at LSU.
This would be the first year where they're truly bad enough. Like they were bad last year and they still had like the 7th pick. Like they're never down there. Like they're just that melancholy, like mediocre team.
That's the thing with the Saints. They're so bad at being bad. They don't even know how to be bad. Like, I know I said a lot of bad, but, like, they're bad at being bad.
You've been saying bad for, like, a half hour now. It's all good.
That ties into what Ryan said about the salary cap. Like, they just have been kicking the can down the road and restructuring guys for so long that I finally feel like this year, because Derek Carr can't play, they might just be like, yo, it's the end of the road. Like, we gotta just be so bad and start over. Like, that's a better place to be than we have Derek Carr and 30-year-old Alvin Kamara making $30 million,
Do you think they're number 1 pick bad, though? Like, what I meant by that is they always fall around 6, 7, 8 wins, so their pick's never that bad.
This year, I think the Saints will win, like, 4 games this year. Like, I think it's going to be bad. Like I think Carolina has surpassed them. I think Carolina could beat them twice this year. They could just be like 0-6 in their division and be terrible.
The thing is that division is so bad, like altogether.
It's not. Honestly, though, it's not though. Like Tampa Bay is always respectable.
I know.
Carolina's getting better.
I know, but
Atlanta's always
Falcons
in the mix.
Are okay.
I know, but I feel like every time those teams play, the spreads are going to be 2 and 3. So literally any team could win. And for a team like the Saints to only win 4 games in a division like that, you think they're going to steal 2 division games. So they're going to go 2-15 with the rest of their games or whatever it is, like
I don't know, man.
It's just how bad the division is. If they were in like the NFC North and they're going to they're going to go 0-6 in the division, okay, cool. Are they going to only win 4 games? Possibly, but I don't know. I just don't think they're bad enough to be the number 1 seed back.
With the division,
I could be completely wrong.
I still think even with the division, and we're like going off on a tangent here with the Saints, but like if I had to bet today on a team to pick number 1 in the draft next year, my bet would be on the Saints.
That's fair.
But Moran, other than the Lions, who've already won according to the robots, who's not winning the Super Bowl in the next 5 years?
Yeah, give us a serious answer.
I mean, the Lions were serious. I just want to clarify that. But it would be the Browns, I think. And Browns very similar. You're in cap hell and it's only getting worse. What are they doing with Deshaun? Unless like Shador, and I hope to God he's great. We had this discussion last week. And yes, I'm still arrogant as fuck, like I said. But I don't see what the Browns will do to get to that. And again, division's a big thing for me. That division is stacked from top to bottom. Lamar's not going anywhere. Burrow's not going anywhere. And Mason Rudolph's really good. I was just joking about Mason Rudolph. But yeah, I don't see the Browns doing it.
Yeah, no, the Browns are obviously with like their history and their current situation and the Deshaun Watson contract. Like, obviously, they have Myles Garrett, which like that's great. And I love Myles Garrett.
What a stupid contract.
Mason Graham.
You could ask this question any year for the past 50 years, and the Browns would be a respectable answer.
I know the Browns would
the
be
Lions.
on the list.
They've never won one.
Well, no, we had our moment in the 90s. We were pretty competitive. I think there would have been some eye rolls if you said that in like 1991 or 1992. But I don't know, man. It's just bad.
I'm interested to hear what you guys think about my answer. it's a little bit outside the box, and it kind of tries to just like encapsulate, the NFL and how teams are successful. My pick is the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do we think about that?
I think it's crazy. I think that's a crazier answer than the Lions that Moran just gave, because I know
don't-
Moran was just
no,
hating.
I actually like that answer a lot because if Pittsburgh goes and gets Aaron Rodgers this year, next year, what veteran quarterback are they going to get? It's going to be 1-year hooker deals. Like,
Right. And they're never going to, as long as they have Mike Tomlin and TJ Watt, they're always going to be picking 10th to 20th.
Matt, I called you a loser, but you actually are very smart.
Yeah, there's been a
I'm
lot of
still a
name
loser.
calling
I'm
on
still
today's
a
episode,
loser.
guys.
I'm a little smart, but I'm still a loser. Don't get that twisted.
But I think I disagree for the reason that Moran agrees, if that makes sense. Like, they are always in the mix, so you can never truly count them out.
Yeah.
Like the Ravens made the playoffs that one year with what's his face at quarterback, Flacco, and he went on this insane tear and they just won a Super Bowl. Like, all you got to do is make it in. And it's not like
For
hockey where like that's so true every year and one, like the low seed can just win it, but like it's not out of the realm of possibility. And their defense is always pretty good, if not really good. So you can never count out a great defense.
Pittsburgh is the Utah Jazz of the NFL. They're going to continue to
That
make
is
the
not-
playoffs,
No, dude.
and everyone's going to know they're going to one time maybe pull a 1 or 2 seed, but you always know they're not going to win it in the next 5 years. I'm saying.
They're going to show up. That's how I feel. They're going to show up to the playoffs as the 6th seed, and they're going to be like, they're going to limp in, and it's always possible. Like, you get a crazy Aaron Rodgers run this year at 41, but like, we're talking about that. Aaron Rodgers isn't even on the Steelers. Like, I don't know what the hell they're going to do at quarterback, Like, I'm just like...
Would your answer be the same if Aaron Rodgers was on the Steelers, though?
I'm kind of operating mentally as if he is on the Steelers. Okay. And like, let's say the Steelers were in the NFC with Aaron Rodgers. Probably not my pick, because like an Aaron Rodgers led Steelers team with how he played down the back half of last year, Eagles catch some injuries, Lions get banged up, Jaden Daniels takes a step back. The Bears offense only scores 48 a game instead of 49 like I'm projecting. Like, I could see it.
Yeah.
Ryan didn't
shocked
catch
that
that.
no
I'm
one
going to
said
let
the
that one
Jets for their-
slide, Matt.
You're surprised no one said what, Ryan?
I'm surprised no one said the Jets. I was just thinking about that.
I know the Jets were definitely my 1B. The Jets
Yeah.
are, until they get new uniforms, there's just no chance.
Can I give you one off the wall?
Of course.
The Buffalo Bills.
Why is Moran just picking like
No,
good teams right now?
because-
Like, they have the MVP.
No, let me explain the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen is a choke artist. He's owned by Mahomes. And until Mahomes isn't that guy, I'm not taking anyone in the AFC over him. It's that simple.
So that's a fair argument.
But to
You
say
would-
that they're not going to
Yeah,
win
you would be-
definitively in the next 5 years, they have a very
Yeah.
real chance of winning in the next 5 years.
And
Yeah.
the reason why I said that, and this is very off topic, I brought it up in the chat today, and I'm going to stamp it on the podcast. Jordan Love is going to win a Super Bowl before Josh Allen. That's why I wanted to bring that up.
All right, why don't we just move the hell on? Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that, but God bless. Speaking of Jordan Love, great segue, Moran. I love that for us.
That's why I did
not
it.
why he said that, man. Don't give him credit.
We were having a little debate, the three of us, in our chat. Apparently, you guys have another chat that I'm not aware of. We'll talk about that off the
Oh,
air.
just like you every
wow.
week. Oh, in my chat, and my friends, and this and that.
Oh gosh, busted. Hate to see that. Which NFC North QB is under the most pressure in 2025? Put up or shut up time. What are we thinking? I mean, realistically, it's probably not J.J. McCarthy, his rookie season, right? So this is kind of a Jared Goff versus Jordan Love versus Caleb Williams situation.
Matt, who do you
Ryan?
think it is? No, you go first, because we went first on the other ones.
I think it's Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams and Jordan Love are in the same tier. I feel like Caleb Williams because of the Ben Johnson hire, because of all the additions on offense, because of how well Jaden Daniels played last year and how good Drake May looked at times. You
Bo
were
Nix.
the number one pick. I do feel though, like, I feel like he's like a year behind where like Jordan Love would be pressure wise. So I feel like it actually probably is Jordan Love, only because 2 years ago, that playoff game at Dallas, especially, Jordan Love looked like he had arrived. Full stop, looked like a stud. And Moran, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. I just didn't feel like Jordan Love, and I know he was like injured and banged up, and to be fair, and he did have the best wide receiver room in the league, though, according to
Still
some.
does.
I can't remember where I heard that. But I
According
didn't
to
feel
one.
like I didn't feel like he played any. I feel like he regressed in 2024 from how he played in 2023. So actually, I will say Jordan Love, followed by Caleb. Jared Goff's got some pressure on him, but I feel like the Ben Johnson leaving maybe gives him like a year buffer. But yeah, I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna say Jordan Love. Miro, what do you think about?
So I do think Jordan Love obviously had a lesser year than the year before. I think a lot of it has to do with the soft play calling and the relying on Josh Jacobs too much. And we did have, as a team, we were 30th in the league in pass attempts. So with that comes lesser numbers. He also missed 3 games. I will say there is a lot of pressure on him, but I don't agree with him being number 1. I think the most pressure is on Jared Goff because he looked like butt cheeks in the playoff game. And a lot of people say that Jared Goff excelled because of Ben Johnson. So if you're going to show you're the guy, you better show it right away because your play shouldn't be dependent on your offensive coordinator. So I think Jared Goff's actually under the most pressure because what has changed on the Lions offense besides the coordinator? They've upgraded some positions, you would say. So I think if he doesn't show that he has it without Ben Johnson, there's going to be a lot of talk. And to tie that in, I know we didn't ask about coach pressure, but I think Dan Campbell's under a lot of pressure. You lost both your coordinators. Let's see what you got. So I think the Lions in general are under a lot of pressure. Caleb Williams, I would tie Caleb Williams with J.J. McCarthy because I think you get a 1-year pass with a new head coach, to be honest with you.
That's fair, for sure.
Yeah, I think for me, Caleb's definitely the low rank along with JJ because it's like a new rookie year for him in ways. Kind of like redshirted with a bad coach, so he gets a pass for that. Jared Goff is the only quarterback in the division who had a great year last year. Like quarterback rating of 112. Like we can stop right there. Like he was phenomenal. And yeah, I get that a lot of that credit goes to Ben Johnson. As it could and should. I'm not gonna bash people who do that. And our fan base is very unkind to Goff quickly when things go south. Like when it's rolling, it's rolling. But when Goff starts to show his weakness, our fan base turns hard. And I think that Goff can never shake the reputation of just being like the above average guy he is. And that's what we love to go to. Like we know what we have. He's never going to be Mahomes and Josh Allen and this and that. I'm not a part of that camp. I like Jared Goff a lot, and I think he can take us there. But yeah, he needs things to go right around him, and that's nothing. Yeah, I think it's fair. I think that losing Ben Johnson kind of takes a little bit of pressure off of Goff, if that makes sense, because you got to kind of adapt to a new guy if you're being like a rational football fan and not just a rabid like psycho that we need you to play better. I think Jordan Love has the most pressure when it comes to the division and quarterbacks. I think one thing you guys forgot to mention is his contract. He makes a lot of money now.
I didn't think
he
about
makes
that.
Just as much money as Jared Goff. And if you're not going to play up to that level, then you are going to get bashed. And I don't know how you're 30th in pass attempts when you're paying your quarterback that much money. That's insane to me.
He missed 3 games, and we handed the ball off with Malik Willis.
I get that. And I can understand that, but I can also like even with Jordan Love playing, he doesn't throw the ball as many times as he probably should, depending, like when you're looking at the money that goes. We can crunch the numbers on that, but I think that both of you are right. I think he did regress last year.
So that's where I'm going to disagree with you, because we talked about when Josh Jacobs was signed last year on this pod. Matt wasn't cool enough to join us yet, but we talked about if you're gonna sign Josh Jacobs, you better use him. So I'm not going to be upset that we limited pass attempts because Josh Jacobs was on fire. The thing that does upset me, though, is when the run game wasn't going, you didn't shy away from it. Sometimes you need to, and sometimes you just got to let guys sling the ball. I think that's why this year they focused on drafting receivers. It's not because our receiver room isn't it. I think they just wanted more speed in the room in general. And I know you're laughing, Matt. That's fine. I don't care.
We need more fast guys who can't catch it. What are we going to do?
That's fine. And then when we're putting up 35 and you're going to be like, oh, I thought they can't catch it. Well, that's fine.
That is what I'll say.
Yeah.
I'll be like, God damn it.
It happened again.
Gee. But yeah, no, I think that's all good points. I mean, I think there's all three have pressure in different ways, right? Jordan Love to live up to the contract, Caleb Williams to live up to his draft stock, and his, the Bears are going to go into the season with, at least for me, like high expectations offensively. So I look forward to it. I kind of wanted to circle back because we talked a little bit about it last week. Ryan, this is a question just for you.
Oh, great.
Gun to head, you are starting an NFL team today. Jordan Love or Trevor Lawrence?
Jordan Love.
Why did you even think about that? That's what bothers me.
Because
I'm Trevor Lawrence, and it's not even close.
And I know
hold on,
Ryan,
Trevor Lawrence. You don't matter anymore. What, Matt? Not even close?
If I was picking, that would be my pick. Well, that's a little spicy, though.
So let me just explain my pick, because I think I hesitated because it really is a great question when you think about it. Trevor Lawrence has better physical tools than Jordan Love, and that cannot be argued. Like, I believe he is more talented than Jordan Love is. I just do. I don't think it's worked. Like, for whatever reason, it might just be because he wears a Jaguars jersey, and I'll say Jordan Love just because he's been more successful, and it would be crazy for me to not say that. But I think that saying Trevor Lawrence isn't a bad answer. Like, I get it.
To be honest, I think the biggest thing for me,
it's terrible.
I think as I'm thinking through this in my brain about like the thing, I'm still Trevor Lawrence, but I think a big part of it is my brain is holding on so much to that Alabama Clemson national championship when Trevor Lawrence was a true freshman, and I just watched him dismantle the Bama defense. And I was just like, this guy's going to be a stud. I would draft him next year, even though we can't, and sit him for 2 years. So, but yeah, Matt, I'm higher on Trevor Lawrence than most, maybe lower than Jordan Love than most. Maybe that's just coping. Who knows?
Matt, let me ask you then, in your opinion, why has Trevor Lawrence been so incredibly mid?
It's tough to say, to put your finger on. I kind of compare it to like Matt Stafford's first 6 or 7 years on the Lions.
But don't do that.
He was like physically the most gifted dude you'd seen in a long time. And for whatever reason, whether it was the weapons, whether it was the coaching, whether it was health, like it just never clicked. And I just think it's gonna click for Trevor Lawrence at some point.
When year 9?
The year 9 bump, maybe. Who knows?
No, like I'm looking at like, and sometimes I hate that I'm a Packers fan because people think like I say things because they're on my team. But I'm literally looking at Trevor Lawrence's stats, and his best year is Jordan's Love regression year that you just mentioned. Like, what are we doing here?
But I just think if we had like an Uno reverse card we could play and Trevor Lawrence gets drafted somewhere else, I think there's a pathway in the universe where he is a good quarterback. I think so much of it depends on your situation.
Yeah,
and it's not that he's had bad weapons. It's not that he hasn't had all the opportunity. I don't know, man. I can't put my finger on why he's been mid. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm still like holding on to the Trevor Lawrence stock. I'm in hands. And also, I was holding on to Sam Darnold stock since 2017, and I cashed that mother out last year.
That
so
paid off. But look
you
at
never
Baker
know.
Mayfield, right? Baker Mayfield bounced
No,
around. We
Baker
thought he was
Mayfield.
going to be
No. That's nope. I'm not doing that.
first round pick who
Nope.
didn't live up to his potential, got drafted by the wrong
First
team,
round-
got in a good situation, and now he's balling.
First round pick that got drafted by the Browns that shouldn't be an NFL franchise. That's all it was.
You could probably say the same thing about Jacksonville, and they might be in Europe in like 2 years, for all we know.
Well, Jacksonville was successful
Just
before
saying.
Trevor Lawrence.
For World War II.
I don't know, man. Jacksonville did well before Trevor Lawrence, and
They had 1 year with that AFC Championship, and that was where that stopped.
how long before Baker Mayfield? When did Cleveland last win a playoff game?
Yeah,
Just letting you
I don't know, man. I think so much about being quarterback depends on who drafts you. I really believe that.
Situation is vital. I agree.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let us know in the comments. What do you think? Jordan Love or Trevor Lawrence? You're starting a team today. Their contracts are probably similar. I assume their ages are fairly similar. I don't know off the top of my head. So interesting debate. I would love to know. Let's round it out, boys. I saw DraftKings.com, also not a sponsor, but hit us up, DraftKings. We'd love to have you.
One of these days, someone will come along and say, "You know what? I should sponsor those guys."
Well, and by that time we might be so big we won't even have room. So get on board early. You can probably get a good deal.
Yeah,
from us.
be. Sorry, DraftKings.
It should be
keep
Tylenol
moving.
because I have a headache.
Yeah, Tylenol. Come on board. We'd love to have you.
It should be Jack Daniels because those takes make me want to drink myself silly.
The rapid release. I'm a big fan. Win totals, boys. NFC North. Everyone is jumbled. We're gonna go rapid fire. Moran, Lions over or under 10.5 wins?
Under at 10.
Ryan?
Over 12.
I'll say over 10.5. I don't know where. Packers 9.5. Ryan, we'll start with you.
Under
9.5. Miro?
Over with ease.
Over 9.5. I'm probably going over 2. It's hard to see the Packers not winning 10 games. Vikings at 8.5. Ryan?
Over.
Moran?
The freest under in football.
I don't know about the freest, but I agree on the under. Just a feeling on the 8.5, some possible regression from the Vikings. And then also at 8.5, we've got Da Bears. Miro, let's start with you. Da Bears over 8.5 wins.
Well, I thought we
Under
just
with
did the
a capital
Bears.
U.
That was the Vikings.
No, we did the Vikings.
That was the Vikings. They're a different team. This is a football podcast, right?
Wait, did I say over for the Vikings?
You did.
Oh my god, I wasn't paying attention. Give me under for the
boy.
Vikings. I apologize.
Thank God we're not streaming this show live. Somebody could have ran to their DraftKings account and hammered Vikings over 8.5 because Ryan said
No
it
one
sounded
should
like
listen
a
to my
lot.
bets ever. Please don't do that. Save your money.
So, but yeah, Bears 8.5. Miro, you're saying under with a capital U.
Yes.
Ryan, and you thought, so you're saying over 8.5?
I'm saying barely over. You see what I did there?
Nailed that one.
At 9.
Yeah, I'm saying Bears over, probably 17-0. We'll see. No, but I will say over because, what would a football podcast be on May 7th if you weren't picking your own team to go over their win total? And then any of these odds to win the division stick out to you guys to do a sprinkle? Lions are plus 110, Packers are plus 270, Vikings are plus 460, and the Bears are plus 500. What do we think?
The Lions can have the division. We'll win the Super Bowl.
I was going to say the Packers at 270. That feels like it might be worth a sprinkle.
No,
Lions have lost a couple coaches, a little brain drain action. Still think they'll be good, but pretty easy to envision a situation where like the Packers win 12 games, the Lions win 11, and the Bears win 10 in the wild card and, go all the way to the Super Bowl. Maybe. Who knows?
I don't remember ever seeing a division over under like this. That's been this close.
It's so tight. It's crazy.
Like, I know it's a good division and everything, but I can't see every team winning around 8 games. Like, one of these teams has to falter.
You got to
And it,
figure somebody's going to overachieve. Somebody's going to.
for sure, for sure. And I know a lot of Lions fans are like, hell, we won 15 games. Like, how the hell do we not win 10 and a half? Like, dude, it's hard to win 15 games. Like, we won a lot of games last year that we probably shouldn't have, if I'm being very honest. I think 10 and a half is a very fair number that Vegas gave. And I think 11-6 is beautiful. Like, let's do that and win the division. And if it means being a better team overall, even with less wins, I'll take it.
A little healthier. Things could be worse.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I think that's all we got. Anything before we get out of here? Also, I just saw the Knicks won that game. What the hell?
Crazy, man. If the Knicks win the NBA championship, I'll be beside
What's
myself,
crazy,
bro.
like, I don't want to get into the basketball thing, but, like, these Pistons fans were saying, oh, the Celtics wanted to see the Knicks over the Pistons. No, the Knicks literally came back 3 times after being down 10, and now they did it 2 more times. The Knicks are for real. People got to realize that. The Knicks are for real.
Certainly
honestly,
appear to be.
We haven't talked about it since the Pistons got eliminated, but shout out to the Pistons, man. Like, what a great year. It's great to be relevant again and great to finally taste some success. But the Knicks were just, at the end of the day, the more talented team, and we were just too young and inexperienced, and we choked games away that I can't believe we choked. It hurts me to this day, bro, and that's going to be a sour feeling for a while.
Big time players make big time plays, Neil Funk.
Yeah, that they do. That they do.
All right, boys, what do you say? Let's get out of here. Next week we've got we're gonna maybe play with the schedule a little bit. We recorded a day late this week. I was on a Florida trip, so that's on me. Shout out to Naples, Florida. Gorgeous this time of the year. Book your vacation through Costco Travel. Not a sponsor. Costco, you know how I feel. You know where we'll be.
Wait. What is Costco Travel?
We'll talk about it off the air,
Oh, it's
but
unreal.
look it up. Costco Travel. Deals on deals on deals.
Dude, they have everything? Like, they have travel agents? What is
Rental
this?
cars, hotel packages, hotels, you name it, flights.
Do they
got
have-
it all.
Do they have hotels? Do they have those?
They got them.
All right.
They got hotels and ho trains. Shout out to the Godfather. But yeah, we are thinking about, we believe the schedule is going to be released on Thursday. So we thought about maybe jumping on Thursday or Friday next week. So a little later in the week, so we can do a week by week breakdown of every single NFL game. I think there's 270 games, should be about a 9-hour episode. So tune in there. Should be a ton of fun. But yeah, until next week, stay tuned. We'll keep you guys updated with some updates on the social at Honolulu Cheese Podcast on TikTok and Instagram, at Honolulu Cheese on X, the Everything app, and YouTube. But yeah, send us a comment. Let us know. Trevor Lawrence or Jordan Love. There was another thing. What team won't win the Super Bowl in the next 5 years? Anything else you want to hit us up about? Let us know. We'd love to chat with you. But I think that's all we got, boys.
And as always, may your Kool-Aid stay blue.
And your head stay cheesy.
The Bears. Thanks, guys.
Peace out.